Recently, I decided to try and change my workflow when it came to mixing high gain guitars. I decided to split the guitars down the middle in order to give me a low end bus and a high end bus so I could control the two separately. The aim was to maintain power and focus in the low end and being able to enhance that power and low end without sacrificing anything of the high end information and keeping the guitar as clear as I possibly could. I call this the Chug Bus. Let's jump into Logic and I'll show you how it works. Let's dive into Logic real quick, and I'm going to show you what is actually going on with these different tracks and how I set this up. So I'm going to start with the two individual guitar tracks themselves. On it, I just have the Amped Roots plugin. It's doing what a plugin or a VST amp does. It's being an amp. I have sent those two into a detailed bus, which is where I get my detail from. So this one has a very big low cut on it. The low cut is around 285 Hertz, and there's a little cut here at 320 just to clear some mud. From there, we go into a CLA SSL EQ. It does nothing but to add a little bit of high end to make the guitars a bit more aggressive. From that bus, I have sent the signal to a separate bus, which is the Chug Bus that we're going to talk about real quick. And I'm going to show you what it sounds like. Just the Chug Bus alone for just a little bit, so you get the idea of what processing we're doing. So yeah, it's just a lot of low pass and a lot of high passing to make sure that we have a very specific frequency area that we're controlling. So just for measure, here is the detail bus by itself. So only the mids and the high end information of the guitar. And when you put those two together, you get this type of effect. So the entire point here is to isolate the resonance so that the chugs will stand out a lot clearer. I'm going to show you the signal chain that I have on here just to make this happen. So the first thing, I'm going to take out the first and the second last plugin to show you what I'm doing. So I'm isolating a frequency area here around 100 to 280 Hertz. And in here, I have a boost 127, 161, and 201. This is just where I found in this case that the guitar was popping out in the frequency range, and I wanted to enhance those for the Chug Bus so I can get more energy out of them. But in the same instance, this is one of the last plugins that I've got on the chain. It's a multi-band compressor. Here I have it ducking down a bit 127 again, just to keep it in control for the mix, so it's not farting everywhere in the audio spectrum. But to go further from that, I have a 1176 here just to tidy up the chugs a bit, because I felt like they were a bit loose in a lot of the cases. So you'll see when I play this, on the chugs you have 2 to 3 decibels of compression, whereas when he's just playing chords, there is almost no compression whatsoever. So the compressor is only really working when he's chugging away on it. Next up is the Waves R bass. I have this on just to create some more subharmonic frequencies around 98 to 100 Hertz. You can get really geeky with this to try and match the tone or the pitch of the note to the frequency area, but in this case, I just figured out that 98 sounded really good for what I was trying to achieve. Next in line is a JST Joel Wannisek bus glue. It's the bass glue. I use this just because I can put different amounts of limiting on the top end and the bottom end of the bass. In this case, it's just figuring out how it would fit with the kick drum. And then it's the FabFilter MB that we talked about, just ducking out a bit of that chug again. You'll see that it only works when he's actually chugging on it. So it's not necessarily doing a lot, but it's reducing a little bit. And then I have a limiter on it just to stick it in place. Doesn't really do a lot, but that's where I wanted the guitar to sit. And if you put all that into a mix, you get a guitar that sounds like you have a lot more aggression and a lot more beef in the chug, and that was the entire idea of this thing. So this is what it sounds like altogether. So that is my chug bus. Let me know if you like the process or even if you dislike it. And if you have any suggestions on how I can improve this process in the future, please let me know in the comments below, as I would love to readdress this video somewhere down the line in the future. Thanks for watching. Because I just...